Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another session. This is the Zen God, and we're going to go into a lot of cool topics today. I want to start with first, as you guys know, yesterday I told you we'd be doing a live Q&A. A lot of people have questions. They want to know about altcoins. They want to know about how to keep their crypto safe and so on and so on. Also, some people just want to get together and chat. So tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that's 3 p.m. Eastern, so 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be hosting a XRP community live Q&A. It's listed XRP community. We can go wherever you guys want, Nazura, quantum financial system, silver, gold, current events, whatever you put in the comment section, I'm sure I can handle, and I'm sure we can have some fun together. So make sure to set your reminder, give it a thumbs up. Let's get some momentum going. And I hope you guys could join me Sunday early afternoon. We usually do it at night. Tomorrow, we'll get it done in the morning. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's the main announcement for today. Of course, before we move forward, please like, please subscribe, please leave some feedback in the comment section. And let's go forward. So I want to tell you guys about a personal experience today. You know, as good investors, you're supposed to be aware of everything that's happening around you, keeping your eyes open, observing everything, being aware, having sensory acuity. So I go to this Thai food place I always go to, and I order it. I don't even check the price, and I get the receipt, and the pad Thai that I normally order that's about $10, now it is, I see the receipt, it's $14 now. I'm like, whoa. And they go, yeah, we raised the price because of the beef. So the beef prices are going up. But this is something like a trend that I also went to, like some, you know, like those 24/7 Mexican spots in Vegas. It's called Roberto's. That's our spot. But pretty much every city has one of those 24/7 Mexican spots. And I went to get some food. I went to get a breakfast burrito. They're usually around $4, right? Pretty cheap. However, this time it was around $6, so it went up $2. And I was like, okay, man, this is getting a little bit scary. I've also been noticing when I go to the grocery store, prices are going up. I get less and less for my dollar every time I go to the store. And the cause of that, what they call that, I don't know if it's called deflation or inflation when prices go up. So I've been noticing that things are getting more and more expensive, especially food. So I think it's related to, let me go over here. All the money that was printed recently. So we've been printing and printing and printing and printing massive amounts of money. And as we know, it's not backed by gold, it's fiat. It's just backed by, it's digital. They just type it in, they create more money out of thin air. And they've been doing that and doing that and doing that. So obviously the more money that's in circulation, the less rare it is, the less value it has. It becomes like the value decreases. That's just how it is. That's why, like, when if you guys ever met resellers who buy and resell things that are rare, if everybody could get access to, let's say, a Supreme hoodie, you guys know what Supreme is. It's the brand where they release limited editions amounts of like a certain brand, and then there's only like 1,000 of them, so people buy it at one price, and then a bunch of people want it off them so they could sell it at a higher price. That's because it's rare, it's scarce. You guys should probably leave some more examples in the comment section if you're not in the streetwear. But that's the trend that I'm seeing. Things are becoming less and less rare. What happens when that happens? It decreases in value. So I'll show you the proof in the pudding. 9 trillion 22% of circulating USD printed in 2020. So all throughout the money printer, 22% was just printed in 1 year. And if you think it's going to slow down soon, especially while Biden's in there, it's only going to keep going up. It's only going to keep accelerating. You see all these new stories right here. Will inflation make gold shine? Inflation is poised to rear its head in 2021. So there's all these people talking about it. So that's pretty, it's pretty crazy. And that's just being aware, noticing what's around me. I don't need to read a news story. I could just see it with my own eyes, and I'm paying attention constantly. So, yeah, it's crazy. So I'll show you this clip. You guys ready? Let's watch this together.
Governments that hit that wall. As COVID-19 begins to pass and some economies, major economies, begin to recover, there will be governments that cannot borrow the amount of money they want to borrow. They simply will be unable. They will have a financial crisis, and their choices will be a combination of austerity, devaluation and default, or frankly, general inflation. And so I think you'll see in different markets combinations of these things. The big question is the United States. How long will the world loan trillions of dollars at 0% to the United States?
Notice how the Prime Minister of Canada laughed at the idea of lending the United States more money. We are in a debt bubble of biblical proportions, and the COVID crisis was the pin that popped it. When governments can no longer borrow, what will happen? They have to reset their currency. When they reset, they will be moving towards digital currencies. If the U.S. ever needs to be bailed out, that will happen by the IMF or the International Monetary Authority.
And there are growing reasons to have, questions about the U.S. dollar, and we've seen the U.S. dollar trend down in recent months. But I experienced this a bit after 2008, 2009. Obviously, the U.S. economy was hit very hard. It was the epicenter of the financial crisis. And you had a very small number of developed countries that had reasonably strong economies. They were us, they were Australia, Switzerland, Norway. It was a very small number. And what we saw happening when I was in government is a lot of hot money moving towards our currencies. And then we immediately had a constant battle to keep our currencies from appreciating too much, because there simply is not the volume in those kinds of currencies. If the US dollar's in trouble and the euro's in trouble, there's just not enough. There's just not enough size in those other currencies to absorb the money that's floating. So
if the world reserve currency fails, they can't simply switch the currency to a stable economy. The SDR, or the special drawing right, is the IMF's money. It's global money made up of select currencies by the strongest economies. We have technologies that can distribute and automate governance of wealth in autonomous nature. Imagine a basket of currencies that are made up of the G7 nations, but as economic data is reported, the currencies within those baskets can expand and contract relative to the strength of the economy. Darren, this is an XRP channel. Why are you droning on and on in your monotone voice about synthetic CBDCs? As the world updates to a next-gen financial system, crypto assets will complement and extend the use and reach of these digital currencies by interoperating with them. Facebook is one platform, but within Facebook, there are games, messenger services, private groups, maps, video players.
First of all, to have an alternative to the US dollar, you have to have a large alternative. What are the large alternatives in the world? There are only two. One is the euro. And the truth of the matter is there's every reason to have as much, if not more, doubt about the long-term value and stability of the euro than the US dollar.
Yeah.
And the other is, of course, Chinese currency. But the problem with Chinese currency is you have no idea what it's actually worth at any given moment, and you have no idea, what arbitrary measures the Chinese government could take to revalue its obligations or the value of the currency itself. So you can't put money in that kind of a currency. And as I say, the only other Western alternative is the euro. So in the short to medium term, it's hard to see, unless the US becomes a catastrophe, it's hard to see what the alternative is to the US dollar as the world's major reserve currency, other than, gold, Bitcoin, some kind of a whole basket of things, right? Today it will have to be a whole basket, and I think that's what you will see. I think you'll see that reserves will, the number of things that people use as reserves will expand, but the US dollar will still be the bulk of it.
Jerry?
So I'll give you my speculation on that. Let me minimize this real quick. And So as you see, you guys are seeing the global playing field is all out of whack. It's all out of whack. People are losing trust in the U.S. dollar as a reserve currency. You heard about the certain economies, currencies are going too high, other currencies are going too low. So we need, what have we been hearing all the freaking time? We need a level playing field. We need a level playing field so that everything is balanced and trade can happen easily, and it's not this chaotic up and down and all this worry. And he mentioned a new world reserve system, like the Bretton Woods moment. And it can't just be one thing. It's probably going to be a basket of things. So my speculation is there's going to be a basket of precious metals, gold mainly. That's why in 2020, when we were printing massive amounts of money, and also 2019, central banks were buying gold at record amounts. I can pull up the source to prove that. We're buying massive amounts of gold. JP Morgan sitting on the largest stockpile of silver ever. So silver is also going to play in a role. So that's another coin in the basket. Probably some other precious metals. And then he mentioned the G7 and he mentioned IMF. G7, we know for a fact, is working with Ripple and XRP. IMF, we know 100% fact they're working with Ripple and XRP. So it's going to be a basket of different things, cryptocurrencies, XRP, probably XLM, different types of precious metals. I don't have all the answers. I'm connecting the dots. But we need a level playing field. We can't have all this up and down craziness to expect to have like a good economy where we can trade with other countries. That's why people say that XRP also means exchange rate peg. It's the exchange rate peg for global trade. That's just my speculation. Also, another speculation I have is I believe we're printing massives. Okay, if you're about to go bankrupt, right? If you're about to go bankrupt, you knew for a fact you're going to go bankrupt. What do you just start swiping your credit card and using your credit card? If you knew there was going to be a currency reset and you're going to reset out of the fiat system, wouldn't it be really obvious that you just keep running the credit card, get your debt all the way up, and then declare bankruptcy? You might as well go big or go home. If you're going to declare bankruptcy, you might as well run your credit up because it's going to be destroyed anyways. So they're printing massive amounts of money because they know they're going to switch it over to a new system. And there's tons of people talking about it. I was just watching Lynette Zhang talking about it on her gold and silver channel. And this guy, Charlie Ward, he's a part of a whole different movement, and he's talking about a new system. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Charlie?
Well, I know that with the business I'm in, I've never been so busy moving money around. People are getting it out of the banks rapidly because I think the general consensus is a number of the banks will cease to exist by the end of this year, beginning of next year. But the quantum financial system is there to replace the SWIFT system. The SWIFT system is linked into the Federal Reserve. It's run by the deep state. But the new quantum financial system, it's got a number of different names. It's a digital system for moving money around. It's a real-time system. The fundamentals are are linked to blockchain. They're using the blockchain system, which Bitcoin and Ethereum or what have you are using. So we know for a fact that the system is actually being run alongside the old system right now as we speak. We know that. And there's a very simple reason we know that is the people in the financial markets that we're talking to in America are starting from this week, just started, to notice the USNs appeared rather than the USD. And the USN is the currency, the digital US dollar. So it's a US note. So from the public's point of view, they won't notice a difference. The only difference they'll notice is a new US dollar bill will come in time. But from a banking perspective, we'll be moving from the old fiat currency, which is not rolled back, across to the quantum financial system, which has actually got another name that Trump called it the other day. But in his tweets, if you read between the lines, he's talking about going to the golden age. And that tells you we're going to a currency backed by gold. For those people who are aware about what he's saying and the information we're getting, we're told in advance what he's likely to say, and then when he does say it, it's always very rewarding that he comes out with this information referring to a golden age, etc. It's very cryptic, but we're now moving and we're starting to see hard evidence. When I started talking about this 16 weeks ago, when we started it, Lee, everyone thought I was absolutely potty.
Right.
Same with you.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
And I found out last week, Charlie, Vietnamese dong had gone up 5 pence, which is massive.
Yeah. There's things happening. There's a lot of things happening, and Lee and I are not the messiahs by any sense of the imagination, but we're going.
Yeah, there's been lots of clues. The painting that Trump put up in the Oval Office was Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson is famous for destroying the Federal Reserve or something like that, gold standard and everything. He wanted to appoint Judy Shelton in favor of the gold standard. He also, when he was talking about the shot, he says going through the gold standard of testing, like what Charlie's saying, the encrypted talk. But everybody's saying this, that there's going to be a new system coming, and it's going to be backed by gold, and gold's going to play a huge role. So, all the research is coming together, and it's pretty fascinating. So, it's really exciting. But what I found really interesting about Charlie, I remember specifically a few months back when he first started to talk about the quantum financial system, he named XRP by name, and he won't anymore. I think he got told to be quiet. He specifically mentioned XRP a few months back. Bunch of people, the only videos you can find on YouTube about it are actually XRP holders talking trash about Charlie, saying, no way, XRP is backed by gold because that would lower the price of XRP, la, la, la. So all the videos where he's talked about it, I don't see anymore, and he doesn't talk about it anymore. I find that really interesting. So he says all the keyword, real time, that's XRP, is on a blockchain, XRP, replacing Swift. Come on, that is XRP. That's what their whole mission is to do. So, it's really exciting that we're going into the golden age. I had some other things to say, but I kind of forgot. So I wanted to show you guys just one more tip, and then I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for our live stream. So this is a really cool guy. This is actually being narrated by Pimpy's Investment Chat. This is a good guy if you want to learn about gold and silver, Nazura. He has a whole playlist about Nazura. But there's a guy right here that tells you his 7 most important things he's learned from investing in precious metals. If you guys want to invest in precious metals, this is priceless information, priceless philosophy, priceless mindset. But I think it could be applied to any form of investing. It's not just applied to precious metals. So whether it's crypto, whether it's a little bit different because precious metals is way more long-term, a lot more of a safe investment, I believe. But let's just hear some. It's good to absorb as much information as we can.
For these 8 years.
It's narrated by Pimpy.
First of all, I have to say this is just for entertainment. Don't take any of this as real financial advice. This is just me giving you my opinion and what I've done with my precious metals investing. Number 1, patience is absolutely key. The world is full of foolish gamblers, and they will not do as well as the patient investors. Charlie Munger. You don't want to buy a bunch of bricks of silver with money that you're going to need next week. It's a good idea to buy on dips, but to buy with a long-term plan in mind. Don't expect to make a trade with your metals in 1 or 2 weeks if you're just getting into them. Accumulate precious metals when the prices are low and when there's dips. Don't buy all at once. It's also excellent to accumulate precious metals if you're a youngster. I started when I was 24 years old because I saw some video that actually was a terrible time to buy silver. It was like $30 an ounce the first time I bought my 2012 Silver Eagles. But over the last 8 years, silver has gone down and I've actually accumulated in, and now the price is rising again and I'm about even because all the silver I purchased in the early years, if you keep cost averaging in, the silver you buy at the bottom will nullify the gains you lost at the top. But it's a many year-long process. You're almost a collector of precious metals rather than a quick trader because you hold them for so long. You always want to remember the trend is your friend until the end. I didn't know that at the beginning, so I kept buying down and down and down as the price fell.
So this is good advice for the people that got excited about XRP when it was about 60, 70 cents and they bought in. Then it went back down to 20. Don't get discouraged because you just keep buying on the way down and then it evens out when it starts coming back up. Remember, you only lose money when you actually sell. If you don't sell it, you didn't lose money. So you just wait for it to go back up. That's why it's a patience game.
If I had known to wait till the trend had ended and then started the new bull trend, which happened, I believe, in 2016, that would have been the best thing to do. So the trend is your friend until the end, and be patient and don't buy all at once. Cost average in. Number 2.
Before we get to 2, so let me piggyback on what he's saying. Number 1, I tell you guys, but it's not just silver and gold that you buy on the dip. You always want to wait until, like we're seeing right now, again, the cryptocurrencies are taking a slacking. They are, and I tell people, don't panic. The loss doesn't occur until you've made the sell. So if you're buying it at one price and you sell it when it's low because you panic, then that is a loss. If you'd have just been patient, it eventually goes back up and then continues to climb. Gold and silver is the same way, but for gold and silver, you use this to protect your wealth. All right, that's what you usually do. So if you have a lot of money, you want to stack gold and silver in case of an emergency. I've told and I've shared with you guys numerous times that we are currently in a situation that's a once in a lifetime situation. And that is, never ever have we been so close to seeing another gold and silver price reset. It's getting ready to happen. It has to. We see these happen once in a lifetime. And if you're lucky to have been holding gold and silver, you will see the largest transformation of wealth. And if you're one of the right people who are invested in gold and silver, you will come out on the other end very wealthy. That time is now. I do like what he's saying. Actually, I like the whole video. We will go over parts of it and I will add to it. So I agree with him. Be patient. So if you bought a bunch of silver, and trust me, they're going to try to drive down the value of gold and silver. They're trying to get speculators to panic and push all the gold and silver back on the open market. That's what the rich do. They do this by driving up the value of stock to a really high point, and then they drive down the value of gold and silver, and people are like, my God, I spent like, 20, 30 bucks on silver, now it's down to $6 an ounce. You feel like you have a loss. Again, it's not a loss until you sell. Don't fall for that trick. They do this every time a reset gets ready to happen. This is how the rich get rich and the poor stay poor. The rich know to ride the trends out and don't panic and don't invest emotionally. They know just to hold on to it, no matter how far down it goes, even if it goes down to zero. That's because eventually it will go back up again. So keep that in mind, that they are going to. But having said that, don't sit around and go, well, then how? I'll just wait for the prices to get driven down and then start investing. I'm saying this is what they normally do. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. There's no guarantee it's going to happen. So the smart move is to start picking up while you can. And when it gets lower, take advantage of that lower price, but you shouldn't be waiting just in case it doesn't happen. You don't want to be this people going, man, I'm waiting. Then like that guy said in the video I proved, that he said you wake up one day and the value of gold and silver is now $3,000 an ounce, and gold is now $25,000 an ounce, and you missed out on that opportunity. So don't be those people. Continue to stack now. It's still, the value of gold and silver is drastically lower than it should be.
Divisibility is another key. It's important to have some forms of divisible metals. I like to collect all sizes of silver. I have 100-ounce bars, 5-ounce rounds, 10-ounce bars, numismatic coins as well, semi-numismatics from all around the world. I like junk silver. I just love silver, so I have many denominations of it. This way, when the price goes up to an all-time high, I want to be able to sell off small amounts of my silver stash. Don't want to sell it all at once. For example, I had 2 ounces of rhodium and I just sold them. You can watch that experience in this video here. But if I had had 1 5-ounce rhodium bar, it would have been more difficult to sell, but I also would have had to sell all at once. Now I had 2 1-ounce bars, which I wish I had more. But just having at least 2 of something allowed me to sell once at one point, which was not the top, when the price was around 8.5 grand, I sold. And then again, when the price was over $12,000, much closer to the top, I sold. So having 2 pieces helped me get closer to the top. Just like you want to buy in gradually, you eventually, when things hit all-time highs, want to sell out small portions gradually. For this reason, when it comes to gold, I like to get 1/2 ounce coins. I don't like to get 1 ounce because that's like $1,700 right now. In the future, let's say gold does go to $5,000 an ounce. I want to be able to sell small portions of it as the price is rising, rather than sell all at once and then the price continues to rally after I've sold my big gold bar. So having divisibility is good. The reason I choose 1/2 ounce rounds instead of 1/4 ounce or 1/10 is because the more divisible you get the coin, the higher premium you pay. For example, I paid about $800 for 1/2 ounce 2020 golden eagles when this dip happened. That's a pretty high premium, but the price on 1/4 ounce eagles has a higher premium, and so on and so forth. Some of the 1/10 ounce gold coins will be real small gold coin, but you're paying a high premium, like $2,000 an ounce. You pay about a 25% premium on those small portions. So a 1/2 ounce coin, you have that break where you do pay a little bit more than if you bought a full ounce, but you still have a nice chunk of gold that is more divisible than a full ounce. Number 3.
Okay, he's saying divisible. I call them fractionals, all right? And I like what he's saying, but here's the thing that he is showing you. The gold coins that he is showing you are numismatic collectibles. So the premium is high, not just because of the gold value. It also has a very limited mintage. Those coins are collectible.
I think we got there. You guys should check out this video. It's called 7 Things I've Learned from 8 Years of Buying Gold. I just wanted to show you that first part.
Coins.
I mainly just wanted to show you guys that first part about being patient, and even if you buy in at a higher amount, you just keep slowly dollar cost averaging, and it all averages out at the end. Most of the time, it's actually, unless you got on at the absolute top, most of the time, you're usually in the profit if you dollar cost average. I thought that was really good tips. If you guys like stuff like that, let me know in the comment section. I can show you guys more tips that I've learned throughout the time. But this is a good time. Tomorrow, you guys remember, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're doing a live Q&A. Let's all get together. Let's get the chat room. Let's get a party going in the chat room. And you guys could take the direction of the episode wherever you guys want. Just leave some cool stuff. If you like the quantum financial stuff, let's do it. If you like the gold talk, let's do it. If you like the current events, let's do it. So that's the agenda. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And have a great night.